and welcome back to Coffee Infused Crypto. A very long and interesting episode awaits us. Yeah. Today I asked the community to provide me some of their interesting or interested in altcoins so that I take a look at them and try to analyze them uh, on the technical analysis aspect. So that's what we're gonna do. Stick with us till the end because we have some mid altcoins and big cap, mid cap, and even small cap altcoins. But before we go into those, I want to stress out, we discussed this Bitcoin dominance video. I'm gonna link it up in the top right corner. Go check that one out. To understand where altcoins will be heading, we need to understand how the dominance work alongside with the Bitcoin. Now, the Bitcoin price is increasing and the Bitcoin dominance is increasing as well. If you can see here, we're at 48.94% currently. So alts tend to bleed against Bitcoin. When we have such a market environment, alts tend to decrease or bleed against Bitcoin, and we have to take into consideration if Bitcoin price decreases a bit while the dominance is still increasing, then definitely alts will collapse. So all the analysis that we're gonna do, you need to take that with a grain of salt, taking into consideration the market environment currently. What we're waiting for is Bitcoin dominance to start decreasing while Bitcoin increases, and that's when would be the alt season, and that's when all the mentioned alts here will just reverse or change directory from whatever they're doing into just moving in the green direction. So after all, Bitcoin still leads the market and it dictates where alts will go. So taking that into consideration, we're gonna jump into the alt total market cap. This is excluding Bitcoin, and as you can see, when that happens, this is like we broke this trend line and we're moving in this triangle, creating higher lows, asymmetrical triangle with higher highs. So first target, this is at $606 billion. So when this breaks, we have this resistance around here. So if this breaks to the upside, instantly we'll add up, we'll definitely go and head towards the second high on this chart, which is this high, and that instantly will add up 15% to the total altcoin market cap, which will reflect definitely on alts themselves. So we'll jump from 606 billion into 701 billion, and then into 864 billion, and then into 1 trillion. And we discussed this in a video, which I'm gonna link around here as well. It's called You Have to Take Action Now. So this is the time where we start accumulating all of those alts, or what we prefer from those alts. Again, you need to do your own research, but this breakout here on the alt, on the total market cap, on the alt total market cap for altcoins will reflect on the price definitely of all of those alts, some more than others, but again, that's for another day. So this Bitcoin price leading into Bitcoin dominance, leading into total market cap for altcoins, excluding Bitcoin. And now we're gonna go into particular coins. We'll start with the Cardano ADA. So on the weekly, if you notice, Cardano was going on this long term, relatively a couple of months downtrend, and once we broke this to the upside, if you notice, this was the broadening wedge. Again, we did a video, I will link it up in the top right corner. Broadening wedges and parallel channels, we will be utilizing those a lot today in order to determine our next targets and orientation or where the trajectory of those coins might be in the near future. So once we broke this, if you notice, we had a decent pump for Cardano, and that was around 54%. And now we're creating this asymmetrical triangle to the upside. If you notice, this on the weekly is outside of the triangle, but on the daily this is another different story. But we've always been stomped on this area, this yellow line, and we'll go into the daily, so just hold on a second. This one has resisted us on this area, which led into a bleed off or a sell off in Cardano. It has resisted us on this area and rejected us again, and it has supported us here and here. So this is our main target, this is our main enemy currently. So if you go on the daily, now we understand this yellow line and how long and significant it is. We can see on the daily, this is Cardano, and we are still trading into this triangle, and this will end making a decision from now until 22nd of April, and that's when we will have a final decision. Of course, if we had a sell off to the downside, this low would be our first target, the 0.334 cents for Cardano. Second low would be my green green line here, green support 0.32, and the third would be the very bottom of this triangle where we initiated at 0.29 cents. But if we broke to the upside and took out this beautiful support so far and flipped it into resistance, while Cardano, again, mark the dates, I will share them, potential targets, potential dates. So from now till the 22nd of April, if we break this to the upside, then I'm expecting a first high would be this accumulation around here, which is the 43 cents, and the second would be the second high, second accumulation at around 51 cents for the short term. So that is around 51 cents. That is a 30% potential midterm, let's say short to midterm potential of a break to the upside versus a, let's say from here till the very bottom, versus a 25% break to the downside as the very bottom. So this is the situation with Cardano. As we said earlier, everything is dictated based on the Bitcoin dominance and the Bitcoin price action. So always keep that in mind, and take always note of the total market cap of the altcoins, and which is very bullish. So technically everything we say now has a higher probability of to the upside more than to the downside based on the alt market cap chart. So jumping into Solana, very interesting chart for Solana. This is on the weekly. So we had this beautiful trend line on the weekly. That's the first thing that catches my eyes, would be this beautiful trend line. And if you notice, this acted as a support here, supported us here, and then as soon as we lost it, went down, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, so rejected us on multiple occasions, and now we're only attempting to break it once again. So this is very crucial. Well, to the downside, we can still get back into this triangle now, because we have the wicks here, support here at around those two areas, and we are supported by this purple line at around everywhere in this area. So those this acted as a good support, and this is at $19.76. Meanwhile, we can still trade into this support until the the 29th of May here, so the 29th of May. That can still happen. We can still get back into this triangle and trade into this. But if this breaks out now, what targets do we have to the upside? So this would be our target to the downside. The targets to the upside would be first breakout. Of course, we have the bottom of this green line. This would be the accumulation around this area. So this green line represents the top and the bottom of this area. And this green table is between $25, $25.70 and $47.94, with a special interest in the 0.236 Fibonacci, because that is the first level of interest on the Fibonacci from this top here, local top, to this very low of Solana. So After a breakout here, I'm expecting a reaction around the bottom of this. And then, of course, we have the mid accumulation here. And this is on the weekly, guys. So, yeah, this will take a couple of weeks to evolve, but this is the road to where we might head next. So the final destination for the short term or mid term, let's say here, since we're weekly, and if that confirms after the week ends, of course, would be a move towards the 0.236, which is a 65% move eventually on the Solana price, and that would be $39.81. So that would be the mid target, and of course then we can retest the higher part of this square, that will be, or a rectangle, that will be at 47.2. so that target would be from current, where we current are, is a 100% move for Solana potentially, if we end up closing this week above this very long massive trend line. So that is for Solana. Let's move on into XRP. Well, XRP, other than the Bitcoin influence, we have to take into with a grain of salt as well the technical analysis, because XRP has a special case of the as you know, we're waiting on the judge's ruling on the SEC case. So that will majorly affect XRP. Market is favoring XRP winning, or at least settling with the SEC, which will be considered a win, and that is kind of reflecting on the XRP's price, because the ruling is soon. How soon? Well, the judge has the right to decide whenever she wants to appeal or to announce it, and it's up to the judge, but we are having approximations between 1 to 2 months from now, and the whole community is waiting. But if you want to go into technical analysis, if you notice on the weekly and even on the daily, and look at this green line, we have two boxes technically. I've plotted 2 boxes, and the price range would be the 0.44 cents on the lower end of the orange box. The higher price would be 0.50 on the higher end of the orange, which is the lower end of the green one, and the higher is 0.55. So now we are just getting rejected off of this green line in the middle of this green box. So rejected here, rejected here, rejected here, and we are being supported by the bottom of this green box. So this green line was stubborn. After closing above it, we got accepted back into it, as you can see here, and it has done a really good job in rejecting us. So why? I took this green line all the way back to history, and that is 2018. Notice about this line and my conclusions on the price. So if we go back here, if you notice, let me zoom it in for you a bit, or zoom it out. So anyways, if you notice those wicks here around this area, so here it rejected us, right? This green line rejected us around this area, and the result was a 52% crash for XRP. Second point, here, this area, we got as well rejected off of it after getting accepted to it, and then crossing it. Then we didn't hold above it for over 2 weeks, and then 2 months later we got rejected here, and this time this rejection did cost the XRP a 46% to the downside. Third time here, approached it, got rejected by it, and the result was, ever since here, over 78% to the downside. As you can see, this wick keeps on going even lower. So now, even here, we got accepted for a couple of weeks above it, and then as soon as we lost this green line, you notice a sharp rejection of 67%. Until here we cleared it, and then that's when XRP did its all-time high of 1.9 on this chart, $1.9, and as soon as we lost it again, it was, you know, game over for multi weeks below it, and now we're retesting it. The only thing that this is a very crucial point for me, this green line is everything. This is heaven and hell. This is the ending point. Of course, the top of the green would be the wicks around this area, but this green line here, like if we got rejected off of it, even here we got rejected, and that still in recent times, and that still did cost us like how much that was. That was a 43% to the downside at this wick around here. 43% of a rejection cost out of this green line. So this is very important to clear. But again, this all will be based on the news from the ruling that we are anticipating and the market is anticipating. So overall, the trend is to the upside, of course, after breaking this trend line here of the kind of inverse head and shoulders, but nevertheless, that was a very long-term intermediate long term to the downside, breaking this parallel channel, and that surged. So clearing this line is a big deal. I gave you the targets to the lower side. Taking those wicks on the green box here would surge XRP all the way. I mean, this would be the last hurdle in the way, and that is prone to, if that cleared, to go to the top of those wicks, which is a 36% to the upside, and that would be around 75 cents or around that area, at least 70 to 75 cents. So write the numbers down and keep track on the different types of information that we are having. So this is not purely TA on the XRP, it's based on the ruling. Let's move on. Ravencoin. So Ravencoin is a proof of work coin which has a very solid community behind it, and Ravencoin, if you can see, is or has been weaker and weaker recently due to this fluctuation of ETH moving to proof of stake and the miners going on to different sorts of coins and flooding the low cap coins. So it hasn't been profitable for miners, just like many other altcoins in the bear market, and excessive GPU powers or excessive GPUs in the system went into Ravencoin as well as many others, and that kind of affected a little bit or saturated the profitability of Ravencoin. But if nevertheless the community is still strong, the community is still there, this is one of the very bullish communities I've been around in cryptocurrencies. Ravencoin people are awesome. So anyways, after breaking of this broadening wedge here, we noticed that we had a nice surge for Ravencoin, and that went all the way up to 62% and then retraced back into this triangle. So this is very important for me currently. This is on the weekly again, guys. We have this shape, we have this triangle, which is prone to make a decision recently, okay, or soon enough. I mean, within now till 17th of April, that should be it. Between now and 17th of April should be a decision for Ravencoin, and this has a 50-50, but again, this will be influenced by the Bitcoin dominance to dictate where we're heading next. But if we take and we'll see the confluence of Zilliqa is higher, and now we'll see, and usually Ravencoin and Zilliqa tend to mimic each other throughout observation only, nothing technical about it. But yeah, they tend to follow up with each other usually because they kind of have a similar ecosystem and a similar price action. So since Zilliqa is trading at around 3 cents, which is higher than where Ravencoin is trading, I am prone to having just 1% higher probability of it breaking to the upside. Nevertheless, local or lows of this area, if we broke to the downside, would be this purple line of 22 cents, 2.3 cents, which is this wick around this area. Of course, before that, we will have the 0.236 Fibonacci of 0.246. Okay, retest around here maybe. We wicked, see, this was supported here. So this is a very important trend line, which is coming all the way up from here. So yeah, this would be first target to the downside. Second target would be 0.2.3 cents. The third would be the very low of this wick, which is the 0.02, which is the 2 cents area. But a break to the upside would lead us to, the first target would be 2.7 cents, and the second target would be 2.9 cents, which is the 0.5 Fibonacci. If we kind of take the let's see here, if we take the fixed range for this area and check the fixed range, if you notice, we're trading at the value low of the fixed range. Okay, so and this is the point of control, the red line. So we're trading between the point of control and the value area low. So breaking the point of control to the upside alongside this triangle from here would shoot us all the way up to over the 0.5 to the value area high and the golden pocket. So this would be my target range at 3 cents as a starter, right below the golden pocket. At this area, I would reconsider the chart and check for maybe taking profit or something like that, because yeah, this would be the golden pocket area. So this is Ravencoin. Let's go to Zil TA since we're at Ravencoin and explain exactly how does that relate. So this would be Zil TA, and Zil TA, as we said, is at 2.9 cents, around 30 cents area. So Zil TA is kind of interesting. I mean, look at this. Zil TA had this bottom here, and yeah, the curve around the bottom, and that did break this trend line, which skyrocketed Zil TA, and I'm a holder of this coin as well, not a financial advice, but that did cause a 112% to the upside, and now we are accumulating. See the power of parallel channels. Two parallel channels can dictate what is gonna happen next, especially for Zil TA. So first parallel channel would be this wide one, where the top is here, the bottom is here, and the center of the parallel channel is currently at 0.28 cents. So that is where we are being supported, and this is where the majority of the price has been, around the center of this parallel channel. If we take this parallel channel down to the second accumulation zone, which was respected here and here and here, we notice that this would be the target of our next drop, if that is to happen, at 2.6 cents for Zil TA. So with this being the support, of course, but resistance, and even if we take it to the upside, this would be a resistance because we have this accumulation around this area. If we take a trend line from the lower part and go all the way up to the upside, we notice that on the shorter time frames, on the daily, we have closed, or we still didn't have closed the day, but we have taken out or broken this trend line to the downside. So if this doesn't support here, then I'm looking for a first move to the first low, which is at 22.5 cents, and the lowest would be the bottom of our parallel channel. So let's keep this target here around this area. So this would be our first low. If this closed above this this triangle or got back accepted back in before the day ends, then we would still have till the 18th of April for it to make a decision. By the way, this tends to break to the upside, or has a higher probability of breaking to the upside, because it's creating higher lows as a structure until we broke here, of course, but still didn't confirm a lower low. So technically we are still creating higher lows, and we have a fixed top here and getting rejected constantly off the same target. So when that happens, or when we break, if we got accepted back into this area, so definitely this would be our first resistance, the 31 cents. Okay, so we have to make a decision here. Second would be the top of this parallel channel, which is the 3.7 cents. So if I said 31 cents, I'm sorry, that's 3.1 cents and 3.7 cents. If we take the point of control of this area and check, we can find that perfectly low value low of the point of control is this bottom, where we just point out to be our first resistance, and the value area high is the or support here, and the value area high, it would be this 31 cents as a resistance. So, and currently we are trading at the point of control. So yeah, I mean, this speaks for itself. This is a bullish pattern. Sadly, we have to see this. Maybe sometimes, some many times we get a fake to the downside and then get accepted back in. So let's wait and see. That's for Zil TA. Let's jump into SNX. So SNX was requested by one of the a couple of people actually. SNX did some pretty good moves recently, and some people said that they did really good. I heard them saying that they really good on it without even knowing anything about technicals. So if you notice, yeah, exactly. Anyone who was into SNS from January until let's say March or even April, oh yeah, late of March, those 3 months, anyone who did really good, who was in SNX did actually really good, because SNX had a break from this downward sloping trend and was curving this parabolic curve here, or parabolic run. So anyone got in here at 1.6 or even 1.9 or even here at 2.2, well, this was a breakout, and that actually led into a move of 58% to the upside. So definitely they were happy. So I've charted the SNX chart, and definitely. First thing you need to notice that this curve has been broken. Okay, we're trading below it for the day. We have to wait and see if this will close below. If this closes below, first target would be this red line at $2.39. Why is that? Because this trend line correlates with this, with the very beginning, or on this chart at least, of 2020, and this is the same line where, yeah, where we got supported at around this area. Let me mark it for you, and even here we got close to it. So this is a very important support to hold on the first level. Second level would be the bottom of this crash here. If you notice, the first wick was here, which was supported here as well, and supported here as well, and did support us here. We kind of broke, and whenever we break this, we tend to go side, or the very we sell would be, or the move to the downside would be hard. So this is the second point of support I'm interested in. Those two are very crucial to hold at 2.58 and 2.39 cents respectively, or else to the upside I want to see us getting back accepted into this curve, and of course if we have this this something like so, we can see that even this trend line to the upside support was broken. So I would love to see a move to or acceptance back in. Currently the RSI is below 50, momentum is fading down, so most probably SNX would sell off to those two levels respectively. The higher target, if we got accepted back in before the day close, would be the 0.236 on the Fibonacci. That would be at $3, yeah, around $3 sharp, the very top of this accumulation. So that's for SNX. Keep an eye. We are, yeah, going downward on the RSI, and stochastic momentum is visiting the mid. Let's go and check. Yeah, it's curving from the upside and yeah, trending towards the 50 level. So most probably it has a higher momentum to the downside. Hopefully those two supports would support us. XMR. So XMR or Monero, well, I'm gonna use only two parallel channels and a trend line for this one. That will explain everything. So let's recolor this one so that we can distinguish between the two. So XMR is having on the weekly a conflict of orientations of or movements. So we have this orange parallel channel going from the upside. This is a downtrend, and we have this blue parallel channel going from the downside to the upside, which is an uptrend, and they will both meet at around this area. So we have this one and we have this one. So XMR can trade between those two until it decides where to move next. If you notice on the blue channel, or the blue channel, let's call it, we are getting resistance at the middle of this channel, so that would be at around $165, and we are being supported here. We got 1 week, here we got 1, 2, 3. So but I have this white line as well. So this white line is acting as a instant or lower time frame kind of a support, or very close support, before we go back to the lower band of this channel. So this white line, which was respected around here, we started here, and then supported us here, and then it supported us here perfectly on many days, many weeks in a row. So first off, we have this support at 156, so $3 below, and we have the resistance on the middle of this parallel channel, the blue one, at $166. So this is the area. So this would be my first triangle to look at: this top, this bottom, if you notice, and they're moving this way. So we have a couple of weeks to make a decision on this one. So if we lose the white line, we go down to the lowest part of this parallel channel. Okay, that's at 140. But if we break the orange line to the upside, that means the upper trend, or the trend towards the upside, is higher than the trend towards the downside. So I'm interested in this area, to be exact. I want this to break this, so that we stay and respect this blue channel, which is the upside trend, over respecting the downside trend, where we would have to sell off if this got rejected around the orange line. The sell off would be around 132 to the middle of this parallel channel, orange parallel, which was, you see the confluence here, which was that was acting as a resistance around this area. And then once we broke it, we went to the very top of the channel. So I don't want to see us going back here, but if this rejected us, the orange one, we are going back to the lower. But if the upper trend or the blue channel didn't fail to support us here, we are going back here. Once we are here, then there is a higher probability to even go towards the lower part. So a lot of conflicting information here, because we have two channels, but soon enough this will clear out the fog, whether on what orientation or direction we are heading next. So next, DOT. I mean, I'm a big fan of DOT, of course. DOT has done its reversal, and we were trading in this downtrend here. So this broadening wedge as well, it's clearer on the daily, but ever since we broke this one, DOT had this move towards the upside, and that was a 69%, oh wow, nice move towards the upside, and then we had the sell-off. So from a weekly perspective, DOT has this upper trend line, which we are closer to at the moment. So this is acting as a support. Okay, so it is supported us here, 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 and now this week as well here. And as well as that, we are above the 50.5 Fibonacci and below the golden pocket. So golden pocket is always very nasty. So it's we need to be above it. So we need definitely to be above it. So currently, the first targets I do love to see for DOT is to clear would be the 6.55 and the $6.55 and the $6.67. So respectively, that would be the golden pocket at 0.618 and 0.65 on the Fibonacci scale, and we are respected or supported by the 0.5, which is the $6.136. So I'd say for DOT, we're again forming this triangle here, which will soon make a decision. This would be the upper part, this would be the lower part. So time is closing in, and the last day to make a decision. So between now and the 1st of May, DOT will have to make a decision, taking into consideration that on the weekly, DOT has been in a major sell-off. So if we go just like all the other altcoins, of course, we're just out of a bear market, and taking into consideration Bitcoin is just pumping soon, so technically we are prone to to have higher moves to the upside rather than the downside. But again, this parabolic channel, if you see, the break was like from all-time high, right? So we recently had this move and now we're kind of consolidating. So after such a long-term move of or a breakout, 69% is nothing big in my opinion. So even if we did have a retracement to the downside, the probabilities of a side retracement over and up push is we have higher probabilities to move towards the upside. So with that being said, this orange box would be acting as a resistance after we clear this high if we push to the upside. So what is this high? The recent high was at let me move this here. Recent high was at the $7.8. So this was the recent high. The green box is between the 9 to $10.8, and that is this here and this here and this accumulation here. So this first resistance would be at 9, the second resistance would be at $10.8. So from current position to first resistance would be 41% to the upside, to second position would be 68.14% to the upside. Meanwhile, if we decide to lose the support here and sell towards the 0.236, so first sell would be towards the 0.382, which would be minus 8%, second sell off would be minus 16%. So we have at most on the shorter time frame a minus 16% over a at least plus 44% to the upside, with a structure favoring the bulls over the bears, of course, because we recently had a breakout and a market structure reversal. So choices are yours. I'm shedding lights on stuff. That's it. Ape. So Ape token, after being in a long-term trend of a channel of a downtrend and creating this inverse head and shoulders, Ape did break and did make ever since it broke, let's see, we did a 55% to the upside, and currently we are trading in this channel. So Ape is trading in, let me remove this for a second and let me show you. So this would be the channel. This low here, respected here. So this would be the bottom of our parallel channel and support, okay? With the top of our channel would be this top here, and the middle of our channel would be this middle here. So if you notice, we got supported here until we lost it and went back down to the bottom of our channel. So recently, and from a risk to reward, we are in a very nice accumulation phase at the very bottom of our channel, okay, with an attempt, this kind of large wick. So this is a doji candle, indecisive, but the push here was significant enough to have to create this huge wick, and the sell-off was significant as well. So yeah, bulls and bears are fighting, but they're fighting over this support. If you notice, we had this resistance here, so this was a triangle, and ever since we broke out of this triangle, if you notice here, we had this run to the upside. So if you want to take a technical move from this triangle to this moving channel or parallel channel bottom and put it here, perfect, just perfect. Let me just do it clearer, in a clearer way. So let's zoom in, let's take this line here, let's put it from the very beginning of this to the bottom and drag it to the breakout point, and let's move it one bar aside so that we can compare, and move it a little bit down. Yeah, perfect. This was the target, this was the actual move, and then it got sold off. So this this pennant or this ascending triangle played perfectly and hit the target, but now we retraced, but we are at support. So I wouldn't short or sell at supports. That's general rule of thumb. I would expect us to at least retest the middle part of the parallel channel. So yeah, for now, that mainly is, so we're on the lower side, so there's no need to panic. We have a higher probability of moving to the middle part of the channel. So I'll move on to the last two coins. Sorry for it being a too long of a video, but I'm trying to be as fast as I can. So someone asked me about GLMR. And actually, I don't like such a structure, but most probably, I don't know the project. This might be a relatively new coin. It was listed on the 22nd to 2022, and the listing was on this chart was 25 cents, and it went all the way up to $50 on the first week. So on second week was at $11-12, and currently it's at 37 cents. So for me, this is a sell-off pattern, which still didn't do a reversal. So we're technically in a downtrend on this coin. So my points of interest would be those two. So yeah, this would be we just created a higher low here. So this is a higher low, but I'm still to witness a higher high formation to be considered like a trend reversal. So I want the price to close above the previous high here. So that would be a trend reversal. So we started with creating higher lows. Here we have a low, here a higher low, here a higher low, with this being our support. So it's very crucial to remain above this and not break it to the downside. Downside would be the lowest wick on this chart, which is at 31 cents. So we're at 37 now. The higher part would be this interesting point, which was supporting us here, and it supported us here, and it rejected us here. So support, resistance, support, right? And now I want us to go back up and retest it, and that is at 42 cents. So that needs to be retested and break into the upside in order to attempt to have a higher high and start a reversal pattern of a market structure. So this is on the weekly, of course, and I'm giving you the weekly trend because I want you to see the general direction. So for me, if I know more about this project, this is prime. If I have beliefs in it and I know that some things are coming, this is prime time for me to be in the game. So I would start chip in here. I would add up to my position around when I cross 42 cents. So I would do some games, but now like this, confirming that this would be the low for the project and it is here to stay. From the looks of a technical analysis, I need to take the 42 cents in order, and this wick at 57 cents in order to confirm a market reversal, so that the chart for the very first time in its life would be in an uptrend rather than a downtrend. So that is everything for this one. And on the other hand, we have JASMY, and JASMY did, after selling off for months and months and months, did confirm a trend reversal. Actually, yeah, like we created higher high here and now we're trading at this part. So let's flip on what I have. So see, this is the difference here. Here, yeah, we're still on the verge actually, but we created this high here was higher than this one here, but we created even a lower low. So now this one looks more interesting to me. Why? Because this high here, so if I want to put a trend line here, so this would be a resistance and very important to break, because here we have a low, higher low, and a high here, and I want this to break, confirming, retesting, and creating a equal high or a higher high, and then attempt to take out this high. If that happened, those two levels, mark them, 7.3 cents and 7.3 nickels and 1 cent. So mark those two targets, because over this one, if you are invested, you should be very, very bullish, because that would be a confirmation of a market change or a market structure reversal. Whereas on the downside, if we lose this white line, we will go back and retest the 4.4 nickel level. But this is on a technical analysis level, is more moving forward more than this one. So this is in an advanced stage and might just, if that confirmed here, and this here, then this is huge. This would be really a huge reversal. And if you are in early, then yeah, definitely a lot of gains to be done here if again we take out this and this. So yeah, keep an eye on it. This is very interesting chart indeed. So guys, sorry for the long video, but try to cover up a lot of alts, and I hope this helps you. Let's recap. Bitcoin price, okay, and we have a pulse here. So Bitcoin increases, dominance increases, alts will bleed. We are waiting for dominance to start decreasing. We are waiting for this dominance to hit a cap and starts decreasing. Okay, so dominance here, we have this trend line from here, we have this purple line from here, and we have this resistance which we crossed recently, which was acting as a resistance here and here and here. So we have this resistance from the upside, purple line, green line, and they are all meeting up here at the 50%. So expect some moves to the upside on the Bitcoin dominance till the 50%. And that would be first interesting spot to see something like a retest to the downside. That's when the altcoins will perform and will be free to execute all the technical patterns that we have just seen. With that said, guys, that is everything for today. Stay safe, stay crypto, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.